have to finalize on sacrifice, then I'll look at obedience. Today I want to deal with sacrifice, to finish on sacrifice, then look at obedience. Then next Sunday I'll be looking at humility as a key or a component to engaging God. Then we will look at studying and meditating on the Word of God. We will look on faith. Faith, a very key component of engaging God. And lastly, hopefully that by next Sunday I will be finishing. I'll be handling at least 4 of them. I'm going to jump because we dealt with it. We dealt with it last Sunday, though not in details, but I want to kind of refresh your minds and say a few things that I didn't say last Sunday, and I find them to be important. The problem is that our time runs so fast on us. There is a man from Kampala, Uganda, who was invited in days of refreshing in Umoja, and he felt he had so much that the Lord had put on his heart to download to us, but the clock was running too fast, and he told the clock, "You are not going to run. I command you to stop." And the clock stopped. The clock stopped. Now, I don't know what God meant with that. But that's the truth, because we are witnesses. We are witnesses. We were there. He's a man that I love and respect. In fact, when you see that man, you can't believe that he can deliver what he delivers. You don't believe, because no man will look with our eyes. Look at how one looks like and how one is like. But God doesn't. God looks at what is inside. That man is, I can't just say what he is. He's so powerful. I mean, I can't invite him here because he's very far back. And again, I think right now he may not be able to travel. Yeah, he may not be able to travel. But he's a dynamite, a powerful man of God. One as first. Our scripture last Sunday, the key scripture was Romans chapter 12 verse 1. That was our key scripture for last Sunday. Our key scripture, I think, as you see, Genesis 32. Maybe by the time we conclude, we'll still come back to it. But our last Sunday scripture was, we said, this was Paul speaking to the brethren. He said, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. Now, we talked quite a bit about that. So this one, I'm just going to recap on what we said. And what we said was that God wants us to offer ourselves as living sacrifices, not to offer animals. I touched on the sacrifice, the Old Testament, that it was animals that were being sacrificed in place of the person who was desiring the blessing, the forgiveness from God. It is the animal that was killed, cut into pieces, put on the altar and burned up. Now, in the new dispensation, in the dispensation of Jesus Christ, he is the one who was killed, put on the altar, as it were, he was sacrificed on our behalf. Now, we don't have to kill animals anymore, because the blood of Jesus Christ is sufficient. We don't need any more blood from anywhere, from the animal or whatever. The blood of Jesus is sufficient. And this is why we are to offer our bodies as living sacrifice. We don't have to die. We just offer ourselves to God as a living sacrifice. And this has to be on a daily basis. We daily lay aside our own desires, our own interests. And this is why I say, brethren, there are things in our lives we hold on, we put them to be more important than actually what God requires us to do. And that distance us from God. You are not sacrificing, laying aside your interests, laying aside your heart's desires, laying at the disposal of Christ the resources that God has put in your hands. You may call them yours in this world, but they are not yours, they belong to God. Somebody was saying, I don't know, I think it's Apostle Marambo, was trying to tell that he speaks to ministers of these rich people and wants to prove to them that actually whatever they have, it is not theirs. They only own it as long as they are alive in this world. I have this car. When I'm gone, it will no longer be known as Owen's car. I have a shop somewhere, or a plot somewhere, or a house somewhere. It is only mine as long as I am here. But once I am gone, it is no longer mine. It will be called up on somebody else's name. You could be having a job. You are called the managing director, Mr. Director. But let me tell you, you are Mr. Director as long as you are there. When you are gone, nobody knows you. And particularly those of you who are employed in companies, whether private or state or government. Let me tell you, even here, I am the pastor in this place, the lead pastor in this place. When somebody talks about Deliverance Church Saika, the first person who comes to mind is Rev Owen Wafula. Even if it's my bishop, when they mention Deliverance Church Saika, who does he think of? Doesn't think about Kevin, doesn't think of Mama Koka, he thinks about Rev Owen Wafula. The day they will say Amelala, let me tell you, unless we are so organized here ourselves. If I don't organize this place so that when I am gone, there is proper success, you will find another man brought to be a pastor here. So when they mention Deliverance Church Saika, it will be another name. So what I'm saying is, whatever we have, whatever God has given us, Paul writes somewhere in the Romans, and he says, man, why do you behave as if the things you have not received? And if you have received, then they can be taken away. So whatever we have, it belongs to God. When we are talking about sacrifice, it is laying all these things at the feet of Jesus and asking God, do what you want. Hallelujah. Do what you want with what you have given to me. Now, somebody has said, the reason why God wanted or used or chose giving us the means of us worshiping Him or meeting the needs of His house is because if we actually can, if you can overcome, if you can manage to tithe with the no problem, doesn't matter how much money it is. You know, it is easy for you to tithe on 10,000 shillings because you only give 1,000 shillings. It is not difficult for you to tithe on 5,000 shillings. You are just giving 500 shillings. It may be easy still for some of us to tithe on 20,000 because it is only 2,000 shillings. If God gave you 100,000, if God raised you to earn a salary of 500,000, if God gave you a business, not a business, a a business. A business of turnover, not turnover, profit, because you tithe on profit, of 20 million shillings. What is the tithe of 20 million? 2 million. 2 million. Will you still give 2 million? Will you still bring that 2 million in this church? Will you still bring 100,000? You say, this one, 100,000 I'm putting in another, it is my tithe. Will you come and stand here with 100,000? Some might find this too much. I can't. Yeah. What we are saying is this: sacrifice means laying at the feet of Jesus all that you are and all that you have. Living sacrifice. All your desires, all your needs, all your interests, you lay them at the feet of Jesus Christ. One as a few aside. It is putting all our energy and resources at his disposal and trusting him, trusting God to guide us in all that we are doing. One as a few aside. Now, please give me this Philippians chapter 3 verse 4. We're reading from verse 4 to verse 9. A very typical example of living sacrifice. Very typical. Please, can we read it together now? We need to adjust this thing. And that's the uku. And I the uku. Can we read together? 3, 4. Though I also might have confidence in the flesh, if anyone else thinks he may have confidence in the flesh, I also. Let's continue. Circumcised the 8th day of the son of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of Hebrews, concerning the law, a Pharisee, concerning zeal, persecuting the church, concerning righteousness, I am blameless. But what things were gained to me, these I have counted loss for Christ. Yet indeed I also count all things lost for the excellency of for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and count them as rubbish, that I may gain Christ. Lastly, and be found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is from the law, but that which is through faith in Christ, the righteousness which is from God. Amen. I will not go verse by verse, but let me paraphrase and say what Paul is saying. Looking at me, if I were to stand as a man, there are many things I can be proud of. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am a true Jew by blood. The Jewish blood, real pure blood, flows in my veins. I am of the stock of Benjamin. I was circumcised on the 8th. In other words, I have kept the whole law. That's why he says I am blameless. When it comes to academic or social qualifications or standings, I am a Pharisee. Now, a Pharisee are very honored people in the Jewish culture. These are men who have, and they are only men, no women, who have studied the law, the 5 books of Moses and the Old Testament. They have studied and they can read it off head. He stands here and narrates the whole Genesis, the whole Exodus, the whole Leviticus, the whole Numbers, the whole Exodus, off head. and he interprets the law as to what God meant by what he wrote. Paul studied under a very renowned teacher. A very renowned teacher called Gamaliel. So he's humanly speaking, he would be very proud. He's one of the big people in Jewish culture. One to be respected and to be honored. He would go to a place and people would stand for him. He would be teaching in those high institutions in the Jewish culture. But he is saying that in spite of all that, I have counted all those to be nothing. Rubbish. It is rubbish. My qualifications are rubbish. Who I am as a Jew, I am rubbish. It means nothing. The most important thing is that I have submitted myself to Christ. I find it more excellent, more important for me to gain Christ. Christ to be on my side. Christ to love me, to favor me. Christ to be proud of me rather than having all these things. And that's what I can say, that he is a typical example of a living sacrifice. Paul laid aside everything else he had gained in life for the sake of Christ. It is very difficult for some of us in our time, for Christians in our time, to lay aside what we are, who we are, what we have, because of Christ. People want to be known and addressed by their titles. They insist. Somebody was giving us an example, and not one. There are very several examples. That when one is ordained and is given the title reverend, you can't call him pastor. You can't call him brother. You are lowering him so much. He tells you, I am a reverend. Do you know who are you addressing? I am a bishop. Address me by my right title. People who have learned, and the learned ones, and they are doctors of philosophy, or even doctors, medical, with those titles, you must address them by their titles. Even when they are brothers, you call them a brother, you have lowered their dignity. Paul is saying we should count all these things but rubbish for the sake of gaining Christ. For the sake of gaining Christ, laying our bodies on the altar, though living, but we are submitting, we are laying ourselves to Christ as living sacrifices. We do this out of gratitude because of what God has done. He died for us. In fact, all that we have is because of Him. And so we do it in gratitude for what He has done. We do it in gratitude for what He has done. And this shows our worship to Him. Shows our worship to Him. And as I said last Sunday, worship, sacrifice must be accepted. Otherwise, it's just like any other thing if it's not accepted. God must accept your sacrifice. If it is not accepted, then it is as good as you did not offer anything. Last Sunday, we considered, was it Abraham sacrificing Isaac? We looked at that. So let me just pick one more. There are so many examples. I don't know. There are so many. Abraham sacrificing Isaac. Abraham sacrificing to the angels before they went to Sodom and Gomorrah. Then we have Gideon. You remember we talked about Gideon? Gideon sacrificing before Sacrifice is a key component in engaging God. As soon as Gideon realized that he's talking to God, he said, please, let's not continue. Wait here, let me come. And then he brought a sacrifice to the angel of the Lord. And the angel of the Lord accepted that sacrifice. From that time on, Gideon was never the same. He was never. You want your life to change? You want your affairs to change? You want your fate, your destiny to change? Then sacrifice is a key component for you to engage God, so that God can have the freedom to work in your life. God can direct your footsteps. God can direct your life. But let me pick this one. Give me 1 Kings chapter 17. There are so many. We can't talk about David. He sacrificed so much. We can't talk about Elijah, the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. I mean, there's so much. We can't talk about the young boy who gave his 2 fish and 5 loaves to feed 5,000 men. I mean, that is just too much. But let's look at this one of the widow of Seraphat. Amen. It says, and Elijah, the Tishbite of the inhabitants of Gilead, said to Ahab, as the Lord God of Israel lives, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, except at my word. He didn't say at the word of God. He said at my. Now, for you to have confidence, and speak on behalf of God and in your name, you must have engaged God. You must have really engaged God. God knows you and you know God. This is Elijah talking. Elijah is not an angel from heaven. Elijah is not a being that came from heaven. Elijah is a human being. In fact, James writes and says that Elijah was a human being with the same desires and everything like we, but he prayed. So he tells Ahab is the king of Israel. He tells him that as the Lord God of Israel lives, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain this year, except at my word. This man had engaged God. You follow the life of Elijah. He has sacrificed many times to God. But we are going to see. Let's go to verse 2. Then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, get away from here and turn eastward and hide by the brook Jerry, which flows into the Jordan. And I will be there. You shall drink from the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed you. Now I think I went too far behind, but now that because we have started, let's just continue. Please just take note as we move, because I am mainly focusing on the widow of Seraphat. These ones are also very important, but I don't want to comment on this one to take more time. I want to focus on the widow of Seraphat. So let's go to verse 6 and continue. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the brook. Now ravens go to Naitaka Horo and Espesa. The crows, these things, they like meat. They like meat. Hata ukienda mahali kuna harusi unakuta zina na the eagles, but this one's different. They can come and eat, take your meat. But they are the ones who are carrying meat. They are the ones carrying meat to bring to Elijah. Why? It's because God had commanded. He had commanded them to prove to Elijah that I am in control. If the ravens, the crows can carry meat and bring, and they don't eat, then I am in control. Verse 7 says, And it happened after a while that the brook dried up because there had been no rain in the land. It is Elijah who had commanded rain not to rain, and so the brook dried up. Verse 8. Then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Arise, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and dwell there. See, I have commanded a widow there to provide for you. A widow, not a rich man, not a man, a widow. Not a married man and a husband, but a widow. So he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, indeed a widow was there doing what? Gathering what? Not firewood. Gathering what? Do you know the difference between a stick and a firewood? Okay, she was gathering what? Sticks. And he called to her and said, Please bring me a little water in a cup that I may drink. Elijah is the one who had stopped the rains. He is coming to a widow and asking even for water. The only good thing is that the widow did not know that this is the man who had stopped the rains. Let's move on. And she was going to get it. He called to her and said, just look at this man. Look at this man. What did he say? This is a widow. It is in drought. He's the reason. And he's asking the woman to bring even bread. After asking for water, and the woman did not ask anything, she just went, who you are going to beat? Who you are going to beat? Like one beer, ebu. Now we can have cut it here. What has your son? So she said, let's read together what she said.
As the Lord your God lives, I do not have bread, only a handful of flour in a mill, and a little oil in a jar. And see, I am gathering a couple of sticks, that I may go in and prepare it for myself and my son, that we may eat it.
Okay, don't move there. When I feel sad. You know, the lady, actually she's swearing. She's swearing, but she's swearing with the name of the Lord. She said, Aki ya Mungu. Aki ya Mungu na kuambia tu ukweli. Kadri ya Mungu wako vile anavyoishi. Mimi sina mkate. Kwa nyumba yangu hakuna mkate. Hakuna mkate. Kile nilicho nacho tu ni kaunga kadogo tu, kaunga kadogo kako kwa mkebe, na kama mafuta kadogo ninaokota tu hii vijiti si kuni, vijiti. In fact it says a couple of sticks, and that means it's so little it doesn't need firewood, just a couple of sticks. I'm gathering this couple of sticks that I may go in and prepare it, just the last one. For me and my son, we eat that one and then we wait for death. We wait for death. In fact, even at that time she was talking about this, they were feeling hungry. They were feeling very hungry. So they are going to eat that and they wait for death. Then what does Elijah say? Verse 12, 13. And Elijah said to her,
Do not fear, go and do as you have said. But make me a small cake from the fast. And then bring it to me, and afterwards make some for yourself.
Of holy Elijah. Elijah knows that for him, God can feed him anywhere. Because God fed him with the ravens at the brook. This is a woman she has no any other way. She has told him, actually it is the land. And then he says, go, prepare as you have said, but don't eat, bring me fast. That's very selfish. One has special. It is very selfish. Now, the woman said, we eat this and we do what? We die. Now, if this woman was to give Elijah, as Elijah is demanding, That means this woman is giving her life to Elijah. Sacrifice. She's laying down her life. She is sacrificing beyond imagination. Elijah, go and do, but first of all, bring me. So it was now up to the woman to say, okay, I am ready to die, therefore I can give him. Or I can't give because I am not ready to die. But let's see what she does in verse 14.
Thus says the Lord God of Israel.
Yes.
The meat of blood shall not be used up, nor shall the jar of oil run dry, until the Lord sends it.
Amen. Let's continue. So she went away and did according to the word of Elijah, and she and her sons. Okay, let's not continue reading, but let me conclude by saying this. Many times God asks us to do things, either to give our material things, money, our time, our energy. But we say, I don't have enough. I can't give. If I give, I die. But it is God who has asked. God knows everything. What is He up to by asking me to do this? Let me tell you, there are things that God does so that He can move you to the next level. If you don't give in to what God is saying, you will remain in that position forever. Because God is testing your faithfulness and your obedience. We will come to obedience. He is testing your faithfulness and your obedience. But if you don't obey, then you are saying, God, I don't trust you. You are a trickster. You are tricking me. That's what this woman could have said. This man, be careful. He's tricking me. He wants him to live and me to die. But she trusted the word of the man of God. And she did according to the word of the man of God. And when she actually did what she was told, the flour did not run out. They ate that flour and that oil for the next 3.5 years until the rains came. This is why I say you can change your destiny. That's why sacrifice is a key component in engaging God. This woman engaged God and God supplied for her. This woman engaged God and God supplied for her throughout the 3.5 years. Ask your neighbor. Ask your neighbor. What is it that you want from the Lord? In other words, what is your need in your life now? If there is a need in your life and you want God to engage in you, in your affairs, then you need to engage Him through sacrifice. Sacrifice. Now, let me just say a few things about sacrifice, then I'll be through. I want to run very quickly. Let me just give you points. That's why I say you need to study this, because I have so much to say about each point, but unfortunately, because of time, I cannot. Now, it is the number one. It is not sacrifice if you have not given it willingly. It is not sacrifice if you haven't willingly given it up. It is not sacrifice. There is so much I can say about it. If I force you to do something and you do just because I have forced you, it is not sacrifice. It is not sacrifice. Sacrifice is something that you do willingly. You are doing it as unto God. You are doing it with a heart of gratitude, thankfulness. You are expressing your thankfulness to God. Number two, listen, if you fast because you do not have food, that is not fasting. It is a forced condition. You are submitting to a condition, you are not sacrificing. That means sacrifice is not something you do because conditions allow or conditions force you to do it. It is something that you do because you know that you needed to do it. Number three, it is no sacrifice if you have no choice but to do what you must do. If we are asking for somebody to offer, to sacrifice, do something, and you find that there is nobody else, there is no way you can escape, it is you or nobody, and you cannot escape from doing it, then that is not sacrifice. That is not sacrifice. Sacrifice, it is not, sacrifice is not, it is not sacrifice if you have no choice but to do what you must do. That is, you are forced. Conditions force you. Circumstances force you. Or somebody has forced you. Somebody has forced you. There is this illustration or a testimony that has been given that there was a church like this one that they had called for a fundraising to build a sanctuary like we are doing, and so they brought their contributions towards the building project. When they had finished, then some people who had clothes in the army or like that, they came in with guns. And told the people, everybody, any money on you, if you have any money on you, bring it here. Otherwise, we are going to search you and we are going to see. And some people brought money. They brought everything because they were fearing for their lives. So, after they finished, they brought everything. They counted what they had voluntarily given or willfully given. It was found that, I can't remember the figures now, but it was like something like, I don't know, 20,000 or something. 20,000. But what they were forced to bring was almost 1 point something million. What they had brought was about 38 around there, something around there, 38,000. But what they were forced to bring at gunpoint was 1.9 million. Now, somebody could have brought in even 200,000 because he was forced at gunpoint to bring. Now, he cannot claim that I sacrificed my. You are forced by conditions, by circumstances to bring. So this is what we are saying. If you brought anything, if you gave anything to God under such circumstances or similar circumstances, you cannot claim to have sacrifice. You must do it willingly and freely. Hallelujah. Number 4. Sacrifice is choice. Sacrifice is what? It is choice. You choose to do what you need to do. It is choice. And here we are saying that you can't sacrifice what is not yours. You can't sacrifice what is not yours. That means you have to make a choice, a decision, and that decision must be on your thing, your material thing. If it's your time, if it is your money, if it is your plot, it has to be a decision based on what is yours. And somebody gives an illustration like this. You are working in a certain company, and like here we have a fundraising, and you come on behalf of that company. You have been sent to represent a certain company, and you bring here 100,000 shillings. You cannot claim that one to be your sacrifice. It is not yours. Even if it's you who has brought it, that is not yours. You did not have any decision, and you have no control over that money. So you can't claim to have given a sacrifice in that way. When you give that 100,000 shillings to a church building like ours from your company, it is not a sacrifice of money that you have given. When you give up the control of something that is yours so that you no longer use it for your own purposes, then that is sacrifice. Are we together?
Yes.
It is something you give away and you relinquish. You have no more control on it, even if it is there. Let me use a good example that was here. Brother James Joroge gave a car to this church. He relinquished his car to this church. He gave it as a sacrifice to the church. And he could come here. In fact, that time when he gave it, he didn't have another car. This car could be parked here. He did not ask me, Pastor, can I use this car? Of course, he could have asked. I would have given him. But then he did not have any control. He did not even think about it. Why? He had given it and relinquished all rights. All right. He had given the logbook, the key, and everything. So he did not have anything. That is what we call sacrifice. Not something you can give us. You know, I heard there is this man of God called Martin Zuna. You remember him? Some of you know him. There were members of the church who came to his church, and they were members, and they donated cars, and I think when things went wrong a little bit, they came back demanding, we want our car. You give me back my car. Question is, who did you give? Who did you give? Give to the church. Who is the church? Who is the church? It is very difficult. But you know, there are people with such a mentality. When they give something to the church, even this tithe and offering, they feel they have given it to an individual, and when things don't work, or when they start thinking, so and so is benefiting from. No. If you are giving us a sacrifice, you relinquish all the rights that you have towards that. Number 5, you can never give up what you have never had. Hallelujah. You can't give what you have never had. You have never had anything. For example, let me use this one a little bit. For example, somebody cannot claim that I'll give up my marriage for the sake of the kingdom, and yet he has never married or gotten married. What has we said? Brother Joseph Bage cannot come and tell Pastor, Yeah, I'm giving up my marriage. I want to serve the Lord. Which one? Which marriage? What has we said? So that means whatever you have to give as a sacrifice, something that is in your possession. What has we said? This is why it's a bit difficult to define whether time is really sacrifice. It's a bit tricky because time is not in your hands. Time is not yours. Time belongs to God. Because any time He decides that you are no longer, that's the end of you. So it's a bit tricky for you to say, I'll give my time to serve God. Because it's Him who has given you that time, and He's in that control. But still, humanly speaking, we can say that giving time is a sacrifice, but it's a bit tricky. What has been said? Hallelujah. Number 6, nothing of spiritual significance comes without sacrifice. Did you get it? Nothing of spiritual significance comes without sacrifice. There is nothing that you will get, nothing you will get of spiritual significance without sacrificing. You want to grow spiritually, you will need to sacrifice. This is why we tell you come to Bible Discovery Week, starting from tomorrow. You need to sacrifice that time and come sit at the feet of the teachers of the word. Then you will benefit. Sacrifice your money and God will bless you. Sacrifice your time. Stay with people who have grown in the spirit so that they can nurture you, they can mold you, they can teach you, they can build you up. I'm just moving fast because there is so much I could say. Something please on that one, let me give you a scripture. I've jumped some scriptures. Let me give you a scripture. This one. Mark chapter 12. Mark chapter 12, verse 43 and 44. That is under number 6. Nothing of spiritual significance comes without sacrifice. Number 7. Your spirituality will always be measured by the size of your sacrifice. Let me say it again. Your spirituality will always be measured by the size of your sacrifice. When you don't sacrifice, we don't see you in meetings. We announce here meetings. You don't show up. You never show up. We know that you are an infant in the things of God. You are a child. Yeah. Because if you don't know the benefits of meetings, Bible study, ladies meetings, men's meetings, youth meetings on Sunday morning, you don't know its meaning, you don't know its importance, then you are immature. If you don't know what prayer is, you don't know the importance of prayer, you don't know the importance, the significance of fasting and praying, you are immature. But when you sacrifice, when it comes to giving, there are people who know what giving is. Those are mature people. We don't spend a lot of time convincing them to give their tithes and offerings, to give towards a certain need, towards a certain brother, certain sister. We don't spend much time convincing them because they know they are mature. But when you don't sacrifice, we know you are immature, you have not grown. And particularly when you don't come, then you are completely a baby. Even milk is too hard for you. Hallelujah. 2 Samuel chapter 24. 2 Samuel 24, verse 21 to 24. Verse 21 to 24. And then 1 Kings chapter 17, where I think we'll just go ahead where we have been reading. chapter 17, verse 8 to 16. Verse 8 and number 8 is the meaning of sacrifice comes when you do not know what your gift will accomplish. The meaning of sacrifice comes when you do not know what your gift will accomplish. There is so much I can say that, but let me just put it in short. When you are sacrificing, you are responding to the impression and to the command of God, to your heart towards God. All that God impresses in you and you want to sacrifice, want to give, you don't know how much it will accomplish or what it will accomplish. All you do is you are responding in obedience. All you do is you are giving, and you are giving in response. You are acting in response to the impression and conviction that the word of God, the Spirit of God puts in your heart. What you are doing, how much it will accomplish is not your business. You may be interested to know, but it is not as important. Hallelujah. Number 9. All life is a trade-off. All life is a trade-off. What does it mean? It means that you must sacrifice something for you to gain another. You must do what? You must sacrifice something for you to get another. Wazungu wamesema you cannot bake your cake and eat it. There must be sacrifice. For example, a student who wants to excel in his studies, what does he do? He has actually to forego certain things, pleasures, company, friendship. He or she must sacrifice that. This pleasure, she must control herself, himself, must give up certain things so that she can achieve what he has set himself to. Hallelujah. For marriage to work. For marriage to work. Now that I've mentioned it, on 17th we will be having the couples meeting after second service. 17th will be the Sunday after next. Couples, we will be having a meeting. That's a good notice. So that we party. On 17th will be on a Sunday after second service. We will have a couples meeting so that we can plan for the year. We want to be active this year. For a marriage to work, there are things that the husband must give up. It doesn't matter how good and important they are to him. There are things he must give up. There are things the wife must give up for that marriage to work. It doesn't matter how important it is. It may be so important that the wife wants always to visit her mother every month. But the husband feels this is too much. I can't take it. But as the wife must decide that I will visit my mother once 2 months or 3 months for the marriage to be good. But as there are things we must give up so that we can get others. Hallelujah. Amen. That is sacrifice. Sacrifice. It is in life. That is the law of nature. You must give up certain things to receive others. Hallelujah. Amen. If a tree must produce more fruits, it must shed off the ones that it has produced this season. There is no way a tree can remain with the fruits throughout the season and expect to produce some more. No. Hallelujah. When I feel sad, my time is finished. It's the last one. The last one. I've said, since sacrifice since sacrifice is a choice, there are things you will never choose to sacrifice as a man or a woman of God. What I'm saying is this: as much as we are saying that sacrifice is choice, you choose what to sacrifice. There are things in your life, in my life, as a man of God, as a woman of God, you cannot choose to sacrifice. Number one, your allegiance to Christ, you cannot sacrifice that. Your commitment to God, your love for God, you can't sacrifice that. You can't sacrifice your family. You can't sacrifice your family. That's not one of the choices to make when you are to sacrifice. You can't sacrifice your family. Hallelujah. You cannot deny Christ. You will not sacrifice your family, and you will not give up on the basic natural principles, basic natural principles in life. You must always be faithful to God. You must always engage God. You must also be faithful to your family, and you must be faithful to yourself. That is what is sacrifice. I thought I would finish that and get to obedience, but time is over. Time is over. I will stop there, but I believe that next Sunday I'll try and as much as possible to see whether I can finish by next